All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Terrans, Zergs, and Protosses.
And randoms.
And randoms.
We don't discriminate.
Heck, even Orc players and Night Elf players, Undead players, humans, I guess they're kind of the same as Terrans. But anyway, we welcome people of all shapes, sizes, and types here at the GSL Codas. Welcome back to everyone. To
Except
the
people who play Yoshi and Mario Kart, you're not welcome.
What do you got against Mario Kart, man?
People who play Meta Knight and Smash Brothers, you're not welcome. Sorry. People who play Akuma and Street Fighter, you have to leave. Okay? But everyone else, you're welcome.
Anyway, everyone else, welcome back to the GSL. This is the Codas round of 32. We have finished the first 2 matches, and if you guys don't know the format of our groups, basically you have 4 players in a group. 2 play against each other, the other 2 play against each other. Then the winners of the first 2 matches play against each other, and that is what we're going to see right here. GuMiho versus Happy. They've played once before in the GSTL, and GuMiho actually won that game. And the winner of this will advance directly to the round of 16 of Code S. So it's a very important match here. The loser will still go into a final match. They'll still be able to have one more game to get into the next round of Code S. So not as much on the line for this game, but it's still going to be very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, GuMiho is slightly favored here, but these guys are much closer than the past 2 as far as recent results and how consistent they've been has shown. Well, our map is loaded. Are you ready, Moletrap?
I am ready indeed, Wolf. We're going to get this underway. The battle for a spot in the round of 16 is about to begin. Happy versus GuMiho. Who will come out on top? We're going to find out right now. Thanks, of course, to Sony Ericsson, Razer, and G-Skill for sponsoring our tournament, making sure that these players can be here and show these great games for us. This is...
I am happy.
You said that in such a happy way, actually.
He certainly did.
I really believe it.
I can't believe we did win an entire 2 games without making jokes about Happy's name, actually. But here's his opponent. It's not Yu-Gi-Oh! He plays Zerg. This is the Terran.
Affection, GuMiho.
GuMiho.
There he is, talking to himself a little bit in his booth.
Yeah, it's always
bouncing up and down.
It's kind of been a faux you trend to talk to yourself in the booth.
Yeah. I didn't know. Do what other players do that too?
Choya was really well known.
Oh yeah, that's
for
right.
Singing,
Choya does that.
Talking, yelling, sometimes being very animated inside of his booth.
I'm a little animated when I play StarCraft sometimes.
Yeah, I don't blame people for doing it. And when I played Brood War when I was a lot younger, I would talk myself through my build order every time I played. No one heard me. It was okay. It was just like when I typed in the Battle.net channel and no one heard me. Like I knew no one heard me, and it like told me whenever I was talking. It was like, no one hears you.
No one hears you.
It always made me feel sad and alone when that happened in Brood
No
War.
one hears you. No one cares about you.
It was just like Blizzard was like, oh, we felt it necessary to remind those who try to talk to a channel that no one is there, that no one hears them every time they try to talk. In case it was not evident.
Well, sometimes you wouldn't realize that someone left the channel or whatever, and you're like typing it. It's like, I don't know. That happens sometimes where you'll be like talking to someone and you like go off on a rant, and then they like message you and they're like, oh, the call disconnected 3 minutes ago. I'm sorry, I've been trying to get it working again. You're like, well, who have I been talking to then?
Well, everyone's had that time in Brood War where they like played a team game or something and they like need to talk smack with somebody. They're like, let's 1v1. They invite them to a private channel or whatever. They're like talking smack down in there. They're like about to set the map. You like tell them the game and password, and then he just leaves the channel and logs off, and you're like,
yeah.
What? Oh, because that guy was scared.
That happens to me in other games too sometimes. Oh, very nice micro by Happy. He's going to force that SCV out. Doesn't even get in to see if there's an expansion up.
Yeah, he has no information whatsoever.
I actually, if you want to hear what I say to myself when I'm talking, I actually stream my ladder games a lot of the time.
Oh yeah?
On Twitch TV.
I will be streaming a lot more recently. You know, I've kind of been moving around a lot. I've been doing some work for Nick and Dan, Tasteless and Artosis, and I'm going to actually...
Oh, the SCV tries to sneak in. The other side is... Yes, he's going to spot the expansion.
Happy actually does not know what is really going on in his opponent's base. He was able to see no gases, so he assumes, but he's not 100% sure. But GuMiho is absolutely sure what Happy's doing. Anyway, I was just going to say, I'm going to be streaming a lot more stuff soon as I am moving, and once I get my new internet up and everything else, I'll be streaming a lot of stuff, so you guys can look forward to that as well.
What is your Twitch channel anyways?
Well, it's Wolf_Schroeder.
Oh.
I might get that name changed. It's kind of a long one, but...
Mine's just Mole Trap.
Well, you can follow me at ProxyWolf. You can follow Mole Trap on Twitter.
Yeah, actually, I was talking about my trip earlier. A lot of people, when I mention it or ask for like pictures and stuff, I actually put a photo album up, which you can find. It's on my Facebook page. But if you look on my Twitter account, I tweeted about it as well. So if you want to see pictures of Korea, I got to see a lot of cool like temples and stuff. And actually, the scenery was beautiful. I happened to go like when all the leaves were changing, so I'm like in the middle of these beautiful national forests that are all yellow and red. It was totally awesome. So got some pictures up for that. If anyone's interested, but both players just getting their expansions up and starting to get their upgrades going as well.
Getting stim and adding a second. He's got a second barracks, adding a reactor to that right now. Making a bunker at home, whereas Happy has teched up very quickly. He's making a tech lab on his factory, is also making a starport, so I think he's going to switch into kind of a later Banshee, put some pressure on him. Since GuMiho has not made his factory until now, he will most likely not have a Viking out in time for the Banshee when the first Banshee arrives.
No, he won't have a Viking at all.
He will have 2 engineering bays, and that's very indicative of bio play, though.
Yeah, he's probably going to have a decent amount of Marines. He's going to be putting out Marines from that reactor barracks and maybe even Marines from his tech lab barracks as well. Yeah, he's making 3 Marines right now, so there you go. And once he gets Stim Marines can actually hunt down Banshees pretty easily.
Very true, or at least chase them away much easier, at the very least. And Happy does have a tech lab now on his starport. I think he's trying to decide if he wants to get Cloak. He does decide to commit to Cloak, getting a Cloak and a Banshee simultaneously.
Oh, wow.
Blue Flame being researched from Happy back at his main as well. So he's getting Cloak and Blue Flame.
Lots of Marines out for GuMiho. They're going to have Stim in just a moment as well. Now, it's all going to come down to the scans, though, of course, because, and he actually just scans his base. He saw the tech lab researching, but he didn't see it what it was attached to. Actually, yeah, that one's researching Blue Flame, so...
Yeah, he got the idea that something is being researched. Even so, he should be able to get a Viking out on time if he wants to. He's going to make medevacs probably first, unless he's kind of figured out exactly what's going on. Stim's finishing right now. +1 for armor and weapons is halfway done for GuMiho right now. And, you know, he's going into this, like, upgraded Marine tank. The style is really interesting.
Huh.
2 medevacs are being made, so he did not decide to go for that safer Viking. And so when this Banshee gets here, even though he has Stim, he's going to, at the very least, force some Stims, damage some SCVs, or Marines, rather. I'm just tripping over every word, man. My words got tangled.
That Marine Stims to run away from the Banshee. Took 1 hit, but was able to get away. And yeah, GuMiho is really going to be heavy on these upgrades. And you know, it's very smart. Here comes the Banshee coming in. Immediately cloaks after seeing that giant mob of Marines. Stim is upgraded, though. He could easily stim. If he scans, he could stim maybe 6 or 7 of them and kill it.
You know what's interesting is he's actually...
Oh, and he does stim several. The scan goes off. He's going to get the Banshee. Yes.
Well, several weird things are going on there all at once. GuMiho was losing a lot more Marines than was necessary because he had his medevacs and Marines on the same hotkey, so that they were not healing the Marines that were being fired upon. But it didn't matter because the Banshee ended up dying. Anyways, there is a second Banshee back at home for Happy that he's just going to use for defensive purposes for now.
Yeah.
Remember, Happy does have Blue Flame as well, though, when he's got 5 Hellions in the center of the map. He's got a timing he could use here. He's going to take a 3rd base. He's already got that 3rd command center up, something that GuMiho does not have yet.
Yeah, and Happy's getting Siege Tech as well. I was going to mention that often TVT these days does come down to Marine Tank, and in those situations, if your Marines are better upgraded, you can win those battles a lot easier, so I'm not surprised to see GuMiho going for these upgrades, but he's going to be going up against mech upgrades instead with the Blue Flame and the Siege Tech, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out for him.
Speaking of Hellions, he's actually just going to sneak by. And it looks like it's Revenge of Bomber here because GuMiho has no response for the Hellions that have run into his natural.
Oh, he needs to control them a little bit better, but GuMiho's not running his SCVs away, so he does take some shots. And they're going to just engage these Marines, which are lined up for the Hellions to knock them down. 5 Hellions in the main, killing so many SCVs. Wow, major damage done.
26 total killed right now at this point, and the Hellions may kill 1 or 2 more on their way out of this world. They're actually about to go to hell, man. That's where they're headed, but
they don't call them Hellions from the 26 workers killed. GuMiho is in such big trouble right now because at this point you would ideally want to do a counterattack and try and get some damage back on your opponent, but
can't do that against Mech.
You can't do that against Mech.
Happy has twice the supply of GuMiho right now. Happy just dropped down about 6 missile turrets, making rings around his natural and his base. Made a sensor tower as well. He's not going to get hit by any drop play. He's got his 3rd base up, and Happy is looking pretty sick right now. Yeah. And I don't mean that he's feeling ill.
Nope. GuMiho does have that 3rd command center down, but
he's got 2-2 just finishing for his Marines as well, so he's got that upgrade advantage.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty good, actually. His Marines are going to be super well upgraded, and concussive shells being upgraded, as well as 4 Marauders in production, so he's like, all right, I got to get something to deal with this Mech. I've got enough Marines now. Starting to make quad Marauders right now. Excuse me, and those could be very effective, actually. Highly upgraded Marauders with Stim can be very effective against Mech.
+3 starting right now. What GuMiho does not know, however, is that there is a 3rd base up for Happy. He's got it into a planetary right now. Happy's got a 4th command center finishing right now. So I feel like GuMiho's like, all right, well, that didn't go as well for me as I would have liked, but I'm still okay because I have a 3rd base. But he doesn't know his opponent has a 3rd base. He doesn't know that he's got a 4th base ready to lift. He needs to be putting some pressure on right now. But even if he wanted to, there's no way he can drop the main. There's turrets all around the main. He's even got a sensor tower. Now he knows about that planetary.
I'm sorry. Did you see that Marine just stim in? He's like, I'm going to go get some SC, blah.
Yeah, that Marine was not going to get any kills, man. I don't know what else to say.
I don't know why I thought that was so funny. Oh, man.
Well, you're just a morbid person.
I am pretty morbid, apparently. You know what else is morbid? Is the lead that Happy has right now. He's up by 40 supply.
Yeah.
The only thing GuMiho is going for him is those upgrades. Now, here's the thing, though. If Happy is unsieged, those Stim Marauders will kill his army.
Yeah, we saw Slayer's Boxer play yesterday and show that Bio can defeat unsieged tanks if they can close the distance very quickly. And, you know, we may have a similar situation in this game, but I just don't see it happening with how ahead Happy is at this point. He's got a unit at every single possible expansion for GuMiho to take, except the bottom right one where he has a barracks instead of a unit.
Barracks is not a unit, it's a building, just so you guys know. And he's going to send 1 Marauder in there to scope out what's going on. That Marauder is going to get out. He's like, I don't want to be like that Marine. Just blow up. Here comes some Hellions.
Medevacs may not get out of here.
Oh, no, and the Marines may not either if those Hellions pursue. He does turn around, though.
Remember with that Raven, the Raven's got full energy. That's 2-point defense zones that could be dropped. That will be highly effective against the Marauders.
True.
And GuMiho, he's just behind every aspect. He has no Vikings, really. He's got just 2 Vikings out. Happy's got more Vikings. He's got better production of Vikings. He's making more command centers, actually making 2 more command centers, and actually making a 2nd round of missile turrets in his main. There is no way.
Well,
there's no way like 6 battle cruisers could get into that main base, okay?
You know what they say, when you're ahead, well, they say get more ahead, but they also say, you know, protect yourself and make sure, by they I mean Artosis, they say protect yourself and make sure you can't lose to anything, you know, cover your bases.
Think about what could possibly beat what I'm doing and then make sure that you have an answer for that.
Exactly.
Now, that massive drop that sometimes happens, like we've seen Ring King do this all the time, is going around for GuMiho, but just like we were saying, there is a grand total of, or I should say, about, I don't know, 10 missile turrets waiting for him here.
Yeah, and the sensor tower sees it.
And
is he going to respond with the Vikings?
Auto-tracking as well. Is he going to drop PDD to protect?
Oh, the PDD goes down, but some of the... Oh, no!
Guess
2
what, guys?
Marauders!
Guess what? PDD is not enough for 10 high-sec auto-track turrets, man. I told you guys not even 6 battle cruisers would get into that base.
The point defense drone actually didn't even cover some of the turrets' range either. So he just actually lost 2.5 medevacs worth of units for nothing. He killed like 2 turrets for all of that, and he's now just so far behind.
Indeed. 2 more orbitals being made. He's got +3 on the way for his vehicles. So even though GuMiho's at 3-3, those vehicles are about to be at +3 as well. GuMiho is not that far behind supply-wise, but as far as his composition goes, he's got all the wrong units, man. I'll give you guys the unit numbers. Right now, Happy has 6 Vikings, a Banshee, 18 Siege Tanks, and 6 Marines, with 3 Vikings for support. His opponent has 8 Medevacs, 2 Vikings, 30 Marauders, and 38 Marines. He's going to force a cancel here.
Yeah, and so the long story short of that is that just a huge, huge mech army, so many siege tanks, 18 of them is the main bulk there. Now, again, though, he needs to be sieged up.
Yeah, and he has to be careful about these little attacks here. GuMiho is using his mobile army quite well. He's going to engage these Hellions, but I'm not sure if this is the right choice because the Vikings are getting close to the Medevacs.
And he just is not deciding, so he's not standing there and letting the Medevacs heal while they fire on Hellions, and he also wasn't really running as well as he needed to, so he took a lot of damage there. Luckily, Happy did turn around, so GuMiho's army did survive, but there's here's the thing, 40 Marines in that army. Those Marines aren't going to do anything against this. They're just going to die to Hellions and tanks.
Happy has a better, longer, late-game, invested composition. GuMiho's trying to chase a bicycle, okay? Yeah, sure, you can keep up with it for a little while, all right? But once you get tired, the guy on the bicycle, he's using a machine, man. The bicycle is a machine, and it does not tire. Nor does Mech. Mech does not tire. Those Hellions have a lot of tires, and they're going to use them to chase on this small Bioforce.
Yeah, and of course, if he turns and engages with too many Marauders, he can just run back to his tanks. And I don't even know, does GuMiho have his army split in half or something?
He does, and he's going to try to flank here, but so many point defense drones, making the Marauders negligible at this point. Before this battle, GuMiho was up 10 supply. After this battle, he's down 40.
Yeah, Happy's just maxed still. And GuMiho just doesn't have the follow-up to take it. Oh, here's the rest of his army. It was up at the north. He's actually just taking some free fire here. He's not going to kill his planetary. I think if he repairs it, he's not going to have the DPS.
Yeah, especially with that siege tank there for support.
Here's the thing. If GuMiho had his whole army together when Happy was attacking unsieged, I think he could have killed it.
Oh, absolutely, man.
But he had it split up for some reason.
Well, he was trying to be mobile with it. He was trying to harass different areas. He's forced a lot of cancels on planetaries. He's forced orbitals to lift. But you're exactly right, man. In that one moment where Happy had the beefier army, of course he was going to crush that.
And now Happy can just siege up at the low ground.
Yeah, if he can actually siege up GuMiho's ramp, that's going to be checkmate.
SCV's dying, suiciding. I'm not sure what they were doing.
They were trying to transfer the bottom right base.
Oh, that was silly.
Oops. He's going to catch some of these tanks, or maybe he's not. His point defense drone is pretty good.
I like point defense drones. I like watching them shoot their little lasers out. It's actually like really cool.
I think it's one of the coolest units Blizzard put in this game. Exactly what they sound like. Well, the ramp has been sieged. That means literally no reinforcements for GuMiho can be used. His last force is being caught here. He's trying to drop on top of siege tanks, but GG.
Happy takes the game, and Happy is going to the round of 16 again. He surprised me last season by how well he did against some very strong players. This season, also coming out on top here.
Yeah, beating GuMiho.
And beating Dongrigu as well.
Yeah, beating GuMiho and Dongrigu, I think, were probably the 2 favorites together. That, of course, according to our polls, maybe not.
Yeah.
But, well, GuMiho is not out of this yet. Of course, you'll see a lot more of this guy in the future.
There he is. That's him. That's GuMiho right there.
GuMiho's favorite number is 435.
I guess so. So yeah, both these guys, you know, they both had their proving to do in their Terran versus Terran. They've both been, you know, 55-ish% win rate against Terrans, so not incredible, but not bad. And, you know, GuMiho definitely proved himself to be the superior player in this case. And
you mean Happy?
I mean Happy. I'm sorry.
GuMiho was trying to chase a bicycle, man. I think that's actually
GuMiho was chasing the bicycle.
That's a perfect metaphor for Bio versus Mech. Yeah, when the tank count is low, you can keep up. You're just trying to run as fast as you can. The bicycle's not even going that fast, but you can keep up with it. Yeah. But later, you're getting a little bit tired, man.
You know, I actually raced a kid on a bicycle in Korea. The other day, I was running down by the river, and like this Korean kid comes up and he like knew a little English, and he like starts like talking to me a little bit, and he said like his tire broken. tire broken, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, and he's like, yeah, me say, oh my god, me sad, you know, like kind of a little bit broken English. It was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. But I was talking to him, and like I was running, and I just run like 3 miles, so I was really tired, and I'm like going pretty slow, but I still was only halfway done because I had to run back, so I still had some juice left in me. So he's like biking past me and like kind of making fun of me a little bit. I'm like, let's race, man. He's like, oh, okay, because his tire was busted. And I like took off, and he like starts biking, trying to follow me, but his tire's busted, so he can't keep up, and I actually outran him on his bike.
Well, that's what Slayer's Boxer did.
That's what
yesterday,
Boxer
man.
did.
That's what Boxer did yesterday. But in this case, Happy's tires were fine. All right.
That's right.
Well, this is our losers match. These guys are actually not losers. They're really cool guys, but they are the losers of the first of each of their games.
And yeah, it's kind of amazing. The 2 fan favorites, Bomber and Dongrigu, one of them is now going to go down to the first round of Code A. The loser of this match will be back down in Code A. Who's it going to be, Bomber and Dongrigu? We're going to find out in just a moment with the GSL Code S.